enthusiastic little friends! Today we are embarking on an incredible educational adventure about animals that breathe using something called trachea. Do you know what a trachea is? The trachea is like a small tube inside the bodies of animals that helps them breathe. It's similar to how we use our noses to breathe. We'll get to know some unique and amazing animals with very special trachea. So, let's start exploring this amazing world. We're discussing the first animal that breathes through a trachea. First, let's meet the dragonfly. Dragonflies are very special insects and have a unique way of breathing. They breathe using a trachea, which is a series of small tubes inside their bodies. The trachea helps dragonflies get oxygen from the air. Dragonflies are excellent flyers and can go anywhere. So, when you see dragonflies fluttering around, you now know that their trachea helps them fly very gracefully. You can call them smart flyers. Next, let's talk about the louse. Lice are small insects that often live on animal fur or human hair. They also breathe using a trachea. Louse trachea is very tiny, but efficient enough to support their lives. Lice are an example of how animals can adapt in unique ways to survive. They may seem simple, but lice have wonders in the micro-world they inhabit. So, even though they are small, they are still very interesting. Next, let's learn about scorpions. Scorpions are scary creatures that also breathe through a trachea. They are arachnids, just like spiders. Scorpions have trachea that carry air throughout their bodies. Do you know what's unique about scorpions? Some scorpion species produce venom that they use to catch their prey. That's why scorpions can be very dangerous, so you should be careful if you come across one. Now let's discuss spiders. Spiders are very clever at making webs to catch their prey. They also breathe through a trachea. Their trachea is a brilliant solution for getting oxygen. Spiders come in many different types, and each has a unique way of making their webs. Some create spiral-shaped webs, some make inverted cobwebs, and many more. So when you see spider webs in your yard, you now know how clever they are at breathing and hunting for prey. Next, let's get to know mites. Mites are microscopic creatures that live in the soil, leaf litter, or other small places. They also breathe with very tiny trachea. Mites are essential to the soil ecosystem and help recycle organic matter. There are thousands of mite species in the world, and many remain undiscovered. That's why they're often referred to as invisible animals that play a big role in maintaining the balance of nature. Next, let's talk about snakes. Snakes are creatures with the unique ability to breathe through their trachea and their skin. They have trachea, but they can also absorb oxygen directly through their skin. Snakes are versatile animals found in various habitats, from forests to deserts. They can crawl and swim very well and are an interesting example of adaptation in the reptile world. Next, let's move on to grasshoppers. Grasshoppers are insects with efficient trachea for breathing. They are very fast and can jump far. One of the most interesting things about grasshoppers is their ability to communicate with sounds. They use their wings to produce sounds known as chirping, and this is part of their mating ritual. Now let's continue with butterflies. Butterflies are beautiful and fascinating insects. They also breathe using trachea, which are tiny tube-like structures that help them get oxygen. Butterflies have a unique life cycle. starting as caterpillars and transforming into chrysalises before emerging as beautiful butterflies. When they become butterflies, they have amazing wings that allow them to fly and feed on flower nectar. They are an example of how animals can undergo a remarkable transformation in their lives. Finally, let's talk about lobsters. Lobsters are crustaceans that live in marine waters. They also breathe through trachea, which help them extract oxygen from the water. Lobsters are interesting animals because they have a hard outer shell that protects them from predators. They also have strong claws used for finding food on the ocean floor. Lobsters have a unique way of producing sounds by rubbing parts of their bodies, which is a form of communication with other lobsters. They can come in various colours, including blue, red and green, and are often considered a delicious dish in some restaurants. That's it, little friends. We've just learned about some animals that breathe through trachea, such as dragonflies, lice, scorpions, spiders, mites, snakes, grasshoppers, butterflies, and lobsters. Each of them has its uniqueness and intelligence in facing the world around them. We hope you've enjoyed learning with us today.